Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to our brand new video. As you can see here, we have a Volkswagen Tiguan here, the R line, and we have a slightly serious problem here. So it's the scratches on this headlight. As you can see here, they're quite deep. Let me just focus this. I'm still trying. Oh, here we go. So these here are not as deep, but the other ones, they have to be dealt with more than just sanding down. And we have to do this specifically to try to avoid thinning down the plastic. So what we're gonna try to do here, boys and girls, believe me or not, is use the super glue. So go to the comment sections and tell me, has anyone ever done anything similar like this to fill out the plastic with the super glue? And of course, share this video with everyone. This is something you want to see. So what we're planning to do is to fill in this canal here caused by the scratch. And this will be done to avoid sanding the plastic down. So we'll try to fill out the canal and sand it down and, well, polish it off. Since the super glue is based on plastic, I think this should work like a charm. So try to follow the entirety of this video and you might notice something that's very interesting that you should also be aware of. And I'm pointing at the headlight. It's beautiful. So share the video, write a comment, and I'll see you in the continuation of this video. So let me show you. So you have to remove all of these screws here to remove this part, and then the entirety of the inside. You have these screws here, and you see below here you can see more screws. See 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There are so many screws, so you don't have to remove the entire bumper, but still there's one screw here as well and one here. They are located below this lining. Once you've done, you just pull and should be enough to remove the headlight. So there are 4 screws. 1 is down, 2 are up, and there's one right here. So once you unscrew all of these screws, unlock the jack and simply pull out like this, and it should be outside. As simple as that. It's a little bit tough for me with my hands, but I am the master tatraga. I can do it. However, I advise you to do it with 2 hands. Oh, here we go. It's out. It's out. The headlight is officially out. These are all the screws that we need to unscrew the plastic. The lip is on clips. You just pull it hard to remove it, and that would be it. So let's start with filling and sanding the headlight. But before that, we'll remove these trim pieces. These are also plastic and they're chromed, so the lower one has to be removed as well. Now, let's begin. Once we remove the headlight, the trim pieces, you have to remove these trim pieces first. Let me just see how to remove this. My keen intellect tells me it's on clips. And I'm still pulling. Oh, I found it. So you see these clips here, they are probably holding it together, so we'll take them off. I'll use 2 hands for this job. I'm not as superior in some situations. There we go. Now, let me just pull it off. And yep, that's it. The upper trim is off. The lower trim, I think, is just clipped on. If you can see here, the plastic can be a bit tricky to remove, so be very gentle with it. Do not use any force, because if you do, it might crack or break. And all you need is some brute force, putting back together the trim level and putting it back down. This is it. So now I'll show you how we plan to solve these scratches on the headlights. This lower part, I'm not sure if I can do anything with it, but we'll try. At least to soften it up a little bit. So before we start filling anything, first we're gonna use the 500 grit paper and sand down the surface a little bit. So not very strongly. Just want to remove the unevenness caused by the scratch. So my Mirka de Ros is doing its job. And there you go. So once we've sanded down the unevenness, you can finally degrease this part, like so, with the degreaser and a microfiber cloth. So, this is what we're going to be filling with our super glue. So first, we take the glue itself. I've put this glue into the syringe because the scratch is very thin. And you want to avoid spilling on the sides. However, if you do, don't worry, you will be able to take it off afterwards. So let's put some glue inside our crack. With the glue itself, let's just fill it in. It's a little bit tricky, as you can probably see, but my superior calmness is keeping my arms steady. You are not a master for no reason, you know. So, yeah, let's just fill that in. Put everything inside. Nice and easy. Just look at how the glue is just penetrating. It's penetrating inside. It's perfect. It's a great penetrator, this glue. And this is what we need. We need it to penetrate the scratch. There we go, just to top it off. Oh yeah. Let's penetrate some more in the lower one. Good penetration. Excellent. This is filling out just the way I wanted it. So, all you have to do now is spray it over with the other component, which is the hardener for this type of glue. Spray, 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 and spray away. As you can see, the glue is immediately done. So we are going to sand down this part with 120 grit all the way to 2000 grit, and then we will see what we managed to even out on this headlight. So this is what it looks like right now before we begin. The glue is see-through, as you can see. It is also very stiff. So now we'll start with the sanding down process. After that, we'll just sand this one down because it's not big, and then we'll sand out the entire paper. And that's it. So, let's start with 100 grit paper. And use this stiff pad as well as my trusty Mirka Deros 5.0. Okay, let's wipe it off. So let's see. Can you see? This is how much I managed to eliminate of this scratch with my first go. The second one has closed down itself also in a lot. And then we're going to continue sanding down. And I'll show you the results after each paper. Because you've seen this many times, I'll just show it briefly. So we're using 100, 150 to 120 grit paper. And this is the result we've got. As you can see, the scratch itself is not really visible anymore, is it? It's gone. It is completely filled out. We haven't touched anything below. So now we're going to the finer paper from the Kovacs brand, used for dry sanding. We'll start with a 500 grit and go all the way up to 2000 grit. Of course, using this trusty Mirka Deros 5.0. So, just look at the finishing after the 500 grit paper. Stay tuned until the end of the video, where I will tell you or show you the tips to remove any circles from the headlights to have a perfect finisher. So let's just spray this a little bit with our degreaser and just look. There's 100% removal of any scratch. There are no dents visible anymore. They're gone. So this is an excellent result for a 500 grit paper. Now let's continue, where I will explain to you the next step. So this is a 1000 grit paper. We went over 800. And instead of it, we used 1000. And this is what you have after 1000 grit paper. As I would say, wow, it looks brutal. So now we'll do 1200, 1500, and 2000. And I'll show you all of those results as well. Stay tuned. Let's degrease this before we begin. Can you see my pretty face? Yes. This headlight will be much better than it was when it came out of the factory. Just look at this. So this is what we get after a 1200 grit paper. When you start, it looks like this. So the 1200 really does the job very well. It's still a little bit milky, but it's getting to that clarity that you always wanted. So now let's go to the 1500 grit. And after using the 1500, this is the result you get. Almost perfect. Almost haze-free. And after 2000, this is what you get. This is the result you have. Just look It is only one step away to being completely perfect. But no scratch, nothing. The superglue did its job.
What we do here is go back.
Now, if we just started to sand down everything, we might make a dent in the glass, so the superglue filled out the scratch, and the results are more than favorable. So to do this lower part, this is what I skipped because you had to use specific machines and it would be a labor to do so, and our goal was to remove the scratch from the glass itself. So now look at how to polish this very quickly and see what it will look like at the very end with protection applied as well. So as I said, all we have to do now is polish it, and for polishing we'll use the rotary pad and the EvoCar wool, as well as EvoCar heavy cut and fine cut paste. So now, just look how quickly the polishing can be done when you have such a great finisher as you do right here. So apply just a few drops of the EvoCar hard cut and Mirka can do the rest. Of course, being a master helps. Oh yeah, the baby's shining. She's shining good. Yes, wipe it off with a microfiber cloth and look at the result. So this is only after the hard cut paste. We managed to retrieve our shine. As you can see, there's no scratch anywhere to be seen. This is the only trace left here. So this is also the indicator that the headlight hasn't been changed. And this is our polishing part done. So now let's continue to finish this to the perfection. And of course also see the result once you put it on a car and turn on the headlights. So this is how the headlight looks like, the one that we haven't been touching, one that's been ruined by the chips and rocks and everything. And now look at the result on the other one, the one that we've done. See? There's nothing, no traces of rocks or chips. We had to remove that with sanding down, but this is the result we got. So there's no traces left of anything that has been done to this headlight, and the deep scratch is gone completely. As you can see here, there is a trace of the scratch here. We put some paint over it to just mask it up. But the most important part is that the glass is not damaged anymore. Now my suggestion would be to put the PPF protective foil over the headlights so it would have a complete protection. I hope I helped you enough with this video. All you have to do is subscribe, follow my channel, ring the little bell icon so you get notified when I post. Also, comment as much as you can, ask questions. I will try to help you out as much as I can. And yes, this is a great way to save a lot of money for not paying a new headlight, and also make some money in the process. So I hope these videos helped you, and I hope I showed you something that you've never seen before on YouTube. So until next time, boys and girls, enjoy this Tiguan and the reflection of my face. Until next time. Take care, boys and girls. Goodbye.